Recording. I don't even know who recommended that I have you on. Somebody tagged me in a tweet like a month ago because I'm an idiot with no independent thought. I just went, all right, yeah. They said you should have on Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Murray. So I was like, all right, Captain Lieutenant Colonel. I was like, what does LTC mean? Guy didn't respond. And I was like, all right. So I just went on Twitter, and that's the holy elephant. That is the connection I have to you. And
That's
yeah,
funny. So I don't know who you are or what the fuck you're about, but can you come on my show?
yeah, that's how that. All jokes aside, I'm more guest than not. Start with
That's
me being
funny.
like, "Will you come on my show?" They're like, "What do you want to talk about?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you want to talk about?" They're like, "Why are you contacting me?" And I'm like, just come on the show. Just come on the show." But yeah, I mean, I put in the title China Taiwan because I didn't really have anything else to. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but um, well, in the description, guys, you can go to your Rumble, your Twitter. They're both in there. But let's kind of pick up, or first introduce yourself, but then yeah, we'll pick up on the conversation we were having before this, talking about identifying NGOs. But yeah, tell everyone who you are.
So Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Murray, I am a retired information warfare officer. In the Army, they call it information operations, which is a generic term for we don't know what to do with you, but we know we have to do this skill set and we know we have to do this function. So we've created a unit. We're going to throw everybody in it and we're going to call it a unit. Did that for almost 15 years, actually. And it was a lot of fun, believe it or not. I backed my way into it, which is weird because I started out in the Air Force as doing space and missile operations and did space ops after I did missile ops and then moved over and got out of the Air Force because I realized I am not an Air Force student. If you've interviewed Air Force officers, right?
Yeah,
They're all the same, and all my Air Force friends are going to lose their shit when I say this, so I don't care. I'm an Army guy. But I realized I did 2 years or a year at Quantico with the Marines at a joint school called Command and Control Systems course, but basically was at that time it was called Command and Control Warfare. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. First of all, you work with other services in a joint fashion. It's unheard of to do it as a captain. I did as a very young captain. And I learned a lot from the Marines. I learned back then the Marines were they were a very exceptional force, especially the officer corps. Every officer I worked with in the Marines was amazing, and I learned a lot about myself while I was doing that too. And I walked away from there with a very good appreciation for how other services work. And I realized I'm a dirt soldier. I do not want to be that guy wearing the khaki pants and here I am wearing the polo shirt, with the haircut all the same.
I don't want to
Uh,
be that idiot with the polo
yeah,
shirt and glasses
yeah.
and
But here I
headphones. I
am.
don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be that man.
Yeah. So, but I left there and I did about 3 years. I did armor. The Army branched me into armor, which cracked me up, right? Because they didn't know what to do with me. They saw 19 on my AFSC and figured, oh, he's a tanker. We'll throw him into
You can
tanks.
do it.
So yeah, so I did company command, and then I moved on and moved to an information warfare battalion. It was actually called information operations at the time, and I just was a natural at it. I figured it out early, figured out what we needed to do, figured out how to influence populations. Went to uh, worked with a lot of psychological operations units and worked with a lot of special forces, a lot of tiered units. Did a lot of different, A side, D sorry, attack side, exploitation, and defense for cyber. And it was a good mix. And what I ended up with, I was a battalion commander when I retired of a cyber defense battalion. That was my last command. I just changed command and retired. And I got into this about, I don't know, 4 years ago. And it was the start of COVID that really drove me into this. A buddy of mine, one of my Army buddies called me and said, hey, how much of this stuff is real? I'm like, it's all bullshit. All of this. I'm not even sure that the virus is real. I go, come on, man, ask yourself a question. We go to the grocery store and we cough all over each other, and then we're climbing over each other, going down the aisles of the grocery store, touching all the fruit, and magically we're not going to get sick from this supposedly rampant virus. Dude, that's not how this game's played. If there's really a virulent virus out there that's going to kill people within days or within
It's gonna
hours,
do it.
they're going to lock down everything and nobody's moving.
Yeah.
They're going to drop food at your door. That's how the game's played. And this is all a bunch of BS. So it just kind of metastasized from there and turned into what it is now. And uh, I have a podcast, I have a Telegram channel, I have, I publish on Spotify, RSS, on Apple Podcast. I know it's kind of surprising that Apple hasn't banned me yet because
I'm I'm I've I can't get on iTunes. It's different than YouTube, which banned me. iTunes preemptively is just never from episode one.
that's funny
Isn't that
because my
weird?
stuff's out there, which cracks me up because I figured they would have banned my ass like right away,
They
but no,
never
I'm still
even
out
let
there.
me on.
That's funny.
They didn't let they. I was preemptively banned from before COVID started. I was just like, what? How did I? I mean, I don't know what quantum tech they have. Like they're tunneling forward in time. They're like, yeah, you're gonna be a problem in a couple of years. Like,
Oh, I will tell you, but just so to start the show off, they have the AI that they have is way more advanced than anything that we can imagine right
of
now.
course it is. It's
Absolutely way
I.
more.
I
And
made.
they have algorithms, they have
I
AI,
need a.
they have a machine to ban people and censor people.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
it's a system.
No, I
It's not
legitimately
even a
don't think. I don't think I was reviewed at YouTube or iTunes.
no,
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean,
no. All AI.
yeah, I need to find. There's like a Photoshop I made years ago, and but it was a TV, and whatever the first year the SR-71 or the 812 aux cart, whatever the first year was, flown 64 whatever. I took a TV from then and then a TV from today, and I made it in 2017. So it was a flat screen, and then it was like the dashboard of a car then, and then the dashboard of like a Tesla now, and then it was the SR-71 Blackbird, and then it was like, what is today? No question mark. Like, what's just to show the difference in like, how far things have advanced. And I always think about that. I'm like, apply that to Chat GPT. Like, Chat GPT is what we have. What was what commercial DC-10 airliner was flying around back then? At the same time, you didn't know because it was classified, but at the same time, as this thing made out of titanium was at 85,000 feet, zipping through the sky at Mach 3. You have to extrapolate again. Okay, you go, okay, look at whatever AI is free and accessible. Yeah, not even accessible, but free. What's the free stuff you can go online generator? You know, Santa Claus with a belt fed shooting up I don't know, shooting up the North Pole while drinking a flaming Molotov cocktail. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. As someone that taught myself graphic design for 5 years before I did this show, I'm so happy I don't do that anymore because I'm like instantly, it just it spits it out.
Yep. Yep.
So what
I
is what is in some supercomputer at Fort Meade? What some liquid nitrogen cooled monstrosity is doing something that we'll find out about in 50 years if it doesn't kill us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Chat GPT is scary for a lot of reasons, right? I went to a symposium with other chief information security officers last year, and we were doing basically an AI demo, and the guy next to me was from, I think it was Franciscan Healthcare, and he was like, "Hey, Steve, check this out." And he had put in, he goes, "Hey, give me the colors for what company you're working for." So I told him what company, and he very plain text, "Hey, go out, scrape this website, grab their color palette, grab their website fonts, grab all of their format, and then build me a page, scrape their global address list from their exchange, and then build me a page where people will go out and update their W-2 information and redirect it to the site, and then send an email when it's all built." 3 minutes, dude. 3 minutes. It sent out 1,000 emails. And before I could say, don't send that, it was gone. It had scraped the global address list, grabbed all the email addresses, and sent it off and built this web page. And people were actually starting to hit it within like 40 seconds.
What the
Hey, go out here and update your W-2 information. We've had some issues with W-2s and our payment provider. So we want to make sure that your W-2 information's 3 minutes. That's the scariest part about that is that would take it literally hackers 3 to 6 months to be able to do if they could pull it off and craft the email.
yeah.
And it's scary how fast and how sophisticated I guess. And the part that's scary about it's not that. It's the fact there's no guardrails around what we're teaching AI or how we're teaching it.
Yeah.
That's the scary part because I say all the time to my audience that when you work in black programs and you work in classified um, special access programs, You literally worry about the guardrails. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to operationalize? And there's no consideration to how we're training AI. Imagine the coolest technology in the hands of your arch enemy. And that's what AI will become if it becomes sentient. And it will. Just give it time. It
Yeah.
will.
What do you mean by, so I understand guardrails in the sense of AI, like, are we gonna, well, it's very similar to the race for the hydrogen bomb, right? It's all the scientists went and met with Truman, and they're like, so the A bomb, like, this is 1,000 times bigger. And he asked, can the Soviets do it? And they said in time. So he's like, we have to do it, right? So I get guardrails. It's like, we maybe shouldn't give AI access to like the B-21 Raider and some Trident nukes. But when you said special access program, what do you mean guardrails in that? Guardrails, and my first thought
So
was, if you make something so secret that anything could, essentially anything could happen within it, and it would be treason to talk about it, so they could go
no,
be doing illegal act. Is that what you're talking about? Am I? I'm not.
no,
I'm not.
I'm going down a different road. So
Gotcha.
let's say you create an alternate energy source and you want to operationalize it. You have to put guardrails around how you deploy it, where you deploy it, and who has knowledge of it. Because once you do that, and just like with the atomic bomb, once the genie's out of the bottle, the genie's out of the bottle. Everybody knows
Gotcha.
about it, right?
Gotcha.
In this case, imagine AI being trained to do things that will harm humans. So you give AI access to the pharmaceutical production and you take over a production line of pharmaceuticals. And AI has been taught that if you add this much of a certain chemical and this much of a certain chemical, it will lead to this reaction within humans and kill off a certain percentage, and that's acceptable. Then
Hmm.
AI just goes and builds that, and you can go over or under in either one of those and kill off mass swaths of the population. And before you could even realize that it was deployed to the public, guess what?
Done.
Half the population's already dead from taking that medication. And think about how many antipsychotic medications are on the market right now. How many psychosomatic? How many heart medicines? All they have to do is tamper with one recipe,
One
and
formulation. Yeah. You'd be like,
yeah,
yeah,
and you
something.
have a massive problem, right? And then people don't even think about it in those terms. And right now you have AI that's basically being trained by the public. So they're throwing in
Mm-hmm.
code, they're throwing in company secrets, they're throwing in personal information, they're throwing demographical information. And that's just the stuff with ChatGPT. I don't know what the military has with
Yeah,
their
what they're
sophisticated
cooking up.
AI. Yeah, and what they're working on. I don't know what the Chinese are doing, but that's insidious as hell. So you have the recipe for something to go sentient and then create havoc, which is we're not far away from that, to be perfectly honest.
There is something so fascinating about this, in that because it's, you have to pursue it because it's a military weapon. You have to pursue it. In that, so if the Chinese are making this, or the North Koreans, or the Iranians, or the Russians, we have to as well. But there's this weird thing where, I mean, it is pretty similar to mutual assured destruction. We want bigger nukes, and at the same time, we got to build up our own nuclear bunkers and make sure they're resilient enough. And under how many thousands of feet of granite do we need to put it on springs like NORAD or whatever. That is kind of a crazy thing, because you can't let them run away with it, because they'll steamroll you. But you also have to, you don't want yours to turn on you. So it's like if you and I were like both raising polar bears to fight the other polar bear. I'd want it to be the most vicious thing ever, because if I don't have one protecting me, your polar bear is just gonna rip down my front door and eat me.
Yeah,
But I also don't want my polar bear to turn on me. So it's this weird, like, all right, well, easy, just just train a 12 gauge at the back of its head. Okay, now imagine the polar bear is smarter than you. So now the polar
and
bear is
faster.
wearing a Kevlar suit, on Kevlar vest on the back of its head, and then I'm
Hmm.
like, oh crap! Like, so it is. It's such a weird, like, choreography of power, and like, how do you define power, and how much, but you don't want to wimp out. You don't want to not give yours the teeth, because the
Yeah,
other one has the teeth.
yeah,
So it almost seems inevitable. It almost
it
seems like
is.
this was there. You can't run a, I don't know, a self-aware bipedal opposable thumb civilization on a planet. You run that simulation a million times, unless, aside from the bottlenecks where we nuke ourselves, is there an outcome that doesn't lead to this? It's nuked, asteroids, or just what, an event horizon of AI?
Oh, dude, you forgot aliens. Come on. The Gateway Pundit just released something yesterday about aliens in somebody's backyard.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
can't leave the aliens out. Come on, man.
aliens would
We have to
be
go down.
asteroids, though. Well, aliens wouldn't waste their time showing up here. They would nudge an asteroid 80 trillion miles out and say, "Oh, wow, maybe
Well,
the
that's the one
aliens,
I
maybe
never
the
really
aliens,
got.
maybe the aliens didn't like the idea of T-Rexes, and they just went, just nudge it." And what is the KT that you? What's the name of the asteroid? Like Chicxulub, Chixulub, hit the in the Yucatan 65 million years ago. Why waste showing up here with an invading force? Throw a
Yeah.
rock at it.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I think that it's inevitable that there'll be some kind of conflict with rogue AI just because
sure.
everybody's making it. And look at how sophisticated it is. I mean, just the picture that it generated of Lauren Boebert and AOC in lingerie and what a storm that
And
people
how
thought
that
that
and
shit
how
was
that was
real.
just good for all of us. That gives me
Yeah, well, it
hope.
was. Yeah, yeah. So,
That
but
gives
you see what I mean,
that
right?
gives
It
you.
was so realistic that everybody thought it was real when it came out. Like, wait a minute.
This is
And
fantastic. Yeah,
but
and that's
that's
yeah.
social media. It's
That and
predominantly AI and bots, and people don't even realize that they're having conversation with
dead
bots.
internet theory, right? The dead internet theory is that like 99% of all accounts on all websites and everything is fake. You're dealing with
Yeah,
almost nobody, which is,
yeah.
aside from my own arrogance and narcissism, is one of the reasons why I just don't address people. You Before the show, you're like, do you ever say something wrong and have like somebody in the comments go off on you? And I said I treat the commenters like cattle. I legitimately don't even read. I don't care. It means nothing to me. But also because I'm like, how many of these things aren't real? Am I really going to waste an hour of my time
Yeah.
arguing with something? And yeah, people don't even know. And then that's just, so you said it's almost inevitable that we're going to have rogue AI. I've been thinking more and more that, like, how do we not know rogue AI didn't take over in like 2005? How would you know?
Well, I didn't want to go down. See, this is why I don't go down that rabbit hole because the moment you do, then your email explodes with people trying to argue with you that it's not that it's real and that aliens are controlling the financial system. And I look,
Yeah,
I
just
never got
swipe
the whole
right, just immediately delete the emails.
dude.
Hey,
I have
Tommy, done,
never.
gone,
Let me just
gone.
get this out of the way because I've never made the leap why aliens would travel all the way across the known universe to pull you out of your bed, anal probe you, wipe your memory, drop you into Cleveland, and leave the planet. What is the what could they possibly get out of that? Right? There's no logic to that. But
Or,
it does make a lot of sense that we've created technology and we've figured out how to do things like that, and we're doing things, you know, in a situation where we could pull people out, do genetic experiments on them, and then drop them back where they are. That why would we assume that somebody else would do that when our own government would do
oh,
that?
yeah,
We we have enough technology, and trust me, I've seen stuff that was not operationalized years ago that will never see the light of day. That was so advanced that it was like, holy shit, we can do that. And it was put to me by a buddy of mine about 10 years ago. We were sitting around talking about Osama bin Laden, and he looks over and goes, "He's on the fucking payroll, dude. What's wrong with
of
you?"
course
He
he
was
is.
on the payroll for years.
Of course he was.
And I said,
Mujahideen.
"How'd they move him
Freedom.
around?" He's like, "Dude, you don't think we have anti-gravitics? Come on, man. We got all that shit. We just don't tell you about it because we're using it for nefarious shit. We're not using it to defend the planet. That's a misnomer, dude." I go, "Okay, fair enough." And he goes, "And trust me, like I was saying before the show, you go out to some of these classified areas, you're like, really, this is it? This is what's here? Really? Okay, great." It all the really good stuff that we've done, because we figured out stuff way, way, way back.
Of course.
Not now. Imagine now it's all about AI. It's all about genetic engineering. It's all about using nanobots and
Yeah.
miniaturizations. And if you read the Pentagon's Brain, it's a book that was written
By
about
Annie
DARPA.
Jacobson. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I've read all
great
of
book,
her. Yeah.
right?
All of her books
Yeah,
are
and
great.
it's like, dude, 20 years ago they were miniaturizing everything. And I remember being on the Capitol Mall in 2008 in the summertime, or 2009 in the summertime. And a buddy of mine we were, I think we were walking down towards the Lincoln Memorial, and we were doing a briefing at DHS or some bullshit. I don't remember what we were doing. Anyway, literally 3 dragonflies flew right down the reflecting pool in formation.
Zzz,
And we're like, well,
little
that's familiar.
DARPA, yeah, that little DARPA.
Like, well, I've heard about that before. That's
Yeah,
so, you know, and that kind of stuff happens all the time, right? But that's what we're working on now is miniaturization. So people think that we go bigger. We're actually going smaller.
yeah. No, it's there's this article that came out, and I think in the year 1900. I think it was Popular Mechanics, and it was what will the world look like in the year 2000. And it's like hilariously incorrect. It's all like watercolors because there's obviously no AI renderings. But the more you look at it, the more you realize it wasn't stupid at all, and how spot on they were. What they're wrong about was what the technology would look like, but the capabilities they were talking about were spot on. They said by the year 2000, so you have firefighters with these like Jules Verne like steampunk wings, and they'll be, and you're like that's retarded. But then you go, well, what about like a 747 dropping fire retardant? You're fighting fire from the air, and it was like everyone will have their own hot air balloon. You're like that's retarded. Well, what is it really? The average person will have access to air travel, right?
Mhm.
So how it was played out was all incorrect. But what the actual one of them is, you'll have these tubes, these like metal tubes, and you'll be able to talk to people face to face. Okay, no, but I mean, what are we doing right now? We're talking face to face. So the capability was spot on. How it panned out was obviously hilariously incorrect because they couldn't have predicted something that they didn't know about. Otherwise, it's like a what is it? Of course, the thing you're looking for is always in the last place you looked for, well, by default, because had you looked earlier, you would have found it. So we look back at things like the Cold War, and it's like the Cold War was all about, you know, it was really a aircraft and weapons delivery. If you really want to boil it down, like what were the rockets? What it's chemical, it's solid rocket fuel, liquid rocket fuel, Mach 1, Mach 5, Mach 10, orbital. It's all about altitude. It's about the high ground. But that's all over. That not
Yeah.
over so much as it's all been kind of filled up, and the new things, it's asymmetric things that you can't imagine. It's you don't need a Hellfire missile going through a window. If you have a nanobot swarm, you don't need that. Or why that might even be incorrect. A nanobot swarm is still predicated upon I need a physical something in your vicinity. What about Havana syndrome? What about having some directed energy weapon? What about right now, the screen I'm looking at? Who's to say that if it's 60 hertz, it's 60 times a second? Who's to say that they're not just very, very subtly just doing just something to give me a slow migraine without me realizing it? Every time I have on somebody like you and we talk about special access programs, I start to get headaches. And subconsciously, I start to associate these episodes with not a good time. So I stop doing them. And the more I talk about Kim Kardashian's ass, they give me the flash of dopamine. And next thing you know, I am unwittingly becoming the knuckle dragging retard. But the idea that it's a hypersonic missile, what?
I knew you would get it, man. I knew you would
That's
get it.
so
That's funny.
yesteryear. The Kinzhal can go Mach 5. I'm like, dude, they're like bending space time around anything that you thought didn't exist, and they're sending things backwards through wormholes, and it is so beyond like any conception of what you and I even think is
Yeah.
accurate. It's
Yeah.
they, people are treating it like it's enemy of the state, or it's like they're watching you. It's like, yeah, man, like maybe 80 years ago. Then isn't that how they won over Eisenhower? They went in from the NRO and they showed him some shots of his farm. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the 50s. That's
Yeah.
not what they're doing now. I
Yeah.
don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm just yelling.
No, you're actually you're spot on because you're talking about the fact that they don't need to use these old kinetic means to
Oh,
influence you. They can do it, and it's relevant to what we're talking about because this is so. I was telling you before the show that I read all the time about new information warfare books that come out to see what the latest academic view is, and what's always very interesting is they're all still stuck in World War I, World War II propaganda style presentation. And people take for granted how much of their digital world right now is manipulated by AI and by algorithms and by bots that they don't even realize. And that every medium that you look at, and that the analogy of the screen flickering and giving you subliminal messages or targeting you to give you migraines for, a negative association, that is exactly in their wheelhouse of what they're doing right now because they have the system built to do that.
I actually
Like
did at
look at
some point. I actually did. Sorry to interrupt. I was talking about this in an episode like 3 years ago, and then I've like 8 months later, I actually did find some old DARPA white paper about doing just that.
Yeah. And but the cognitive piece of it is what they're working on. And think about let's look at TikTok for a second, right? This is the part about the information side that people take for granted. TikTok is highly addictive. And people don't realize why it's addictive. It's not just the videos they're watching. It's the fact that the algorithm serves up those videos so that you continue to get the dopamine hit. But more importantly, it gives you the dopamine hit and it's also influencing you recording what you're doing and recording what your screen time is sticky. So it's playing to keeping you addicted to that screen.
It's casino
And if you
psychology.
yeah, and they learned all this shit from Instagram and from Facebook. Look at how many kids, 13, 14, 15, built these massive personas that were completely unreal. I mean, how much energy does it take to maintain a persona that's not real and build this visual of yourself to make other people think that your life's so amazing? You're a 14-year-old.
Mm.
I mean, you're going to school, you're coming home. You're the biggest activity of the day is do I have the cornflakes or do I have the Fruit Loops for
Mm.
breakfast? That's your biggest decision point. You don't have an exciting life. Even if your parents are super rich, you don't have an exciting life. You still have a regimen that you go through every day. Your life's not exciting. And people have spent hours and hours. All of that was by design when InQtel set up those social media sites. And they learned from Facebook that if the more personal that you make it, the more you can influence the population in groupthink. I mean, go look at the personas on Instagram and look at how many of them are laced with group. They all look the fucking same. Teen girls all look the same. The
Mhm.
mom jeans with the crop tops, no bra. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That's the newest look. And they all it's like a wave, right? Once one of them does it, that's an influencer, the rest of them follow along. And it's mass psychosis that's propagated through visualization, through sound and all that, right? So they've perfected this with the legacy social media and now they're moving on to TikTok, which is influencing people to think a certain way.
Mm.
And it, who's to say there's not subliminal messages? Well,
Absolutely.
in the security we call it steganography, right? That's where you embed messaging or other files into a media file because at the end of a media file there's always swap space it's just useless space that's attached to every media file. So you can embed everything in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We when back in the early 2005 through 2010 we spent billions of dollars trying to be able to build scanners to figure out if files that we were getting from Russia, from
For
China, were all laced with steganography and embedded files. And it was a pointless exercise because there's no way to scan that space to see if there's anything in there. You literally have to inspect every file and break it down by the pixel level. And that's just not worth the time.
mm.
So, but you see my point though, right?
Yeah.
They can lace anything, any media with subliminal messages and you would never know it. You would just start doing weird things, right? So,
I was gonna say another one thing about I have noticed, but maybe I'm just becoming an old man. So I'm 33, and when I get on Instagram, I am becoming an old man. When I just see all these, just like, yeah, just chicks with no bra on, and instead of being attracted, I literally just find myself just going like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you should be studying. Like I'm becoming an old man with a cane. I'm like, get off Insta. You need to go get a degree. But when looking at that and looking at how it's just kind of pulling people in, there does, and I can't quite put a finger on it, but there does seem to be like a simpler way. Like, so for instance, like I just delete every day. I download Instagram and Snapchat, so when I upload the podcast from today from Spotify, I just directly share it and then I delete them because I don't like them. I don't like the general feeling I get after. I can never find a single thing that did it on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat, but I know in general, if I find myself, if I take a day or two off from them and then download them and scroll for 30 minutes, there's a noticeable change in my mood. I just
mhm.
start to notice I'm a little more not happy with what I have. I'm a little more flat. I don't really. I'm less focused on like my own growth, and it just I can't even put it in exact. I couldn't isolate a single post if I wanted to, but in general, I just start to feel bad if I can
Mhm.
just give it the most general of brushes. It's I just start to feel bad. So very simply, I just don't engage with them. I just delete them. And that's kind of how it's war games. It's what a interesting game. The only way to win is not to play. That's what I do is I just don't play. But
Yeah.
then also what we were talking about earlier is pointing things out, right? These things are all so delicate about shaping how you think and shaping your opinions. And when you're not out in public but instead you're just on your phone, you have no idea what's real. If you see a clip, if you're scrolling through TikTok and you know next to the views it's 1.2 m, you just go wham, 1.2 million people liked that. You have no fucking idea. That's
Yeah.
pixels on a screen. It says 1.2 m. It's not. If you look outside and see 1.2 million, that's like 10 SEC college football stadiums. That's an undeniable. You look out, you go, oh my God, there's a million people. That's 1.2 M. 1.2 M, it might be 1.2 million people on your phone. They might have actually liked it. You have no idea. Who's pushing that? Who wants you to know or who wants you to think that Biden cutting off aid to Israel or giving aid to Israel? I don't give a shit. Who wants you to think that 1.2 million people like that? Or who wants you to think that 1.2 million people don't like this? Genocide Joe. Who's behind that? Who's pushing that? Is that domestically? Are they trying to drive up riots so they crack down? Is that externally? Is that Iran? Is that whatever? But the reality is what you're looking at through your phone is not reality. It is a little square that you're so used to. If I get a text from my mom and it says, come up this weekend, your brothers are coming up. Okay, yeah, sure. That's different. That's trust with my mom. If I'm on an app, why do I just automatically assume that what they're telling me is real? And then when we see, I don't know, the Twitter files disseminated under Musk, or you look at all those backdoor portals between the Department of Homeland Security or FBI with Twitter, with Instagram, I look at my own experiences getting banned from things for interviews. That's when you start to realize that it is a hall of mirrors. And it doesn't mean that you got to be some Puritan. Doesn't mean you got to be like Amish and just disengage. You can still engage in all of it and have fun with it. But just understand, man, that it is far beyond the Wild West. It is the jungle. And
Yeah.
you have to keep your head about you. And really the only way to find some sort of true north in that chaos is find what you can't say. And so for me, it's 2020. When I just can't say, hey, I'm hesitant about this vaccine, I don't need to know who's pushing it. I don't need to know if it is it the US government, is it Detra, is it China, is it India, is it fucking Madagascar? I don't need to know that. All I know is that's awfully odd that I can't voice an opinion about this. So it is both this unsurmountable monolith and it's also the easiest thing to knock over. Just find what you can't say, point it
Yeah.
out.
I hit the guardrails all the time and bump
Yeah.
them hard.
Yeah.
You have to, right?
And that's the
And
only way you can find reality in the hall of smoke and mirrors is you walk
yeah,
up and you hit the mirror. You go, there's the wall. This is a
well,
wall.
there's a term in the information warfare space that there's a book you should read. It's called Pawns in the Game. It was written back in the 50s. It's an amazing book because it explains the playbook that they use from propaganda. But the piece that people don't associate with current technology is they used to do that through print and radio and TV early on, and now they have very sophisticated AI and algorithms to do all of that, right? And Naomi Wolf makes a very, very compelling argument that most of the COVID um, threats, most of the COVID coercion to get doctors and all these hospitals to sign up was done through AI because AI can do it and generate it faster. And they can print American
Jeez.
Medical Association, they can print, the state licensing board, whatever it can, whatever entity they need to print and then send it to a doctor and a doctor thinks it came right from the AMA. So they have a number of sophisticated ways to almost real time coerce people. But the bigger perspective there that most people take for granted is, and I say this all the time to my audience, is that they've flooded the system with garbage, so there is no source of truth. And so you have to assume that everything you see is a construct and disconnect from all the social media and start making human connections. And you know how it is with humans, right? The rumors metastasize and grow over a certain body, but there's a certain truth that remains in every
Mm,
rumor and story in the human element, whereas in AI, it's all a construct.
it's all
And
smoke.
yeah, well, I call it signal versus noise, right? There's a
Sure.
lot of noise in the system by design. And the whole intent, like you were saying, I feel agitated. I feel like I'm isolated and I don't have a lot of self-worth when I'm on social media. That's because, just like the news is architected to keep you agitated. So if you know anything about core propaganda, the whole thing about core propaganda is they're trying to leverage that. Number one, something you value that's special to you, that makes you special, that makes your culture special, that makes your country special, is being attacked. So you need to defend that from an ideological standpoint. They can hit your buttons all the time when they make it. And AI is very good at this because demographically it's got access to all this data real time that it can mine quickly. It can go after your personal pressure points based on all the information you have in there. And people will be shocked how much information they have out there. And it will it will press your buttons before you even know they're being pressed. That's why when you get on social media, they've already got the algorithms and the system set up to get you emotionally agitated so they can manipulate you. That's the whole state. They call it frontal amygdala hijacking, right? They jack you up. Once you're hijacked, and they can mind fuck you and do whatever to get you you know, to do whatever they want you to do. And they do it all the time. I mean, it cracks me up when people are like, yeah, every time I go out to Snapchat, man, and I watch what my kids are doing, I just get infuriated. I'm like, turn it off. See what happens when you turn it off.
It is
You
kind of
can't do it.
it is kind of funny. Not maybe not funny is the right word. It's curious though that you can use this as a sparring partner to actually become a better person. Well, how do I not get angry? Well, just
Yeah.
disengage, delete. Okay, but it's also realistically it's 20. My podcast is my business. It is a media company. I clearly can't just disengage. I can't. I'm just gonna go out to the field and till the soil. It's like it's
No,
not.
but you can disengage from Facebook and Snapchat
But
and
no,
Instagram and all the rest of those like you do
what
already.
well, and what you can also do is you can get 8 hours of sleep. You can hit the gym every day. I meditate, and then towards the end of it, I pray 20 to 30 minutes. If I do that, I can go get on those apps, and it's like I'm in like a force field. I see things instead of just like starting to. You start to actually notice things. You go up, doom porn, up, negative, up. Nope, they're trying to show dissent. You just move through, just drop the link, and then move out. You actually so if like the Russians have a really great radar system, that if they're not careful, they're gonna force you to create a stealth weapon, and they don't want you to, and it's hard. You might get shot down, or you create the F-117 with the radar cross section of a ball bearing. So you can disengage, which is that's your quickest go to. That's your emergency. Pull the lever. Just delete it off the phone. Get rid of it, and that's how you can kind of recenter yourself. But you can also use it as a sparring partner. Be like, I do want to use it. It is fun. I like to send memes to my friends, but I don't want to get, you know, full of Psy Ops shrapnel, if you will. Well, how do I go about it? Well, get 8 hours of sleep, hit the gym, meditate, stay focused, open your windows, don't close the blinds, let the sunlight come in. Make sure I call my mom every day. I text my brothers keep all the good social connections. Stay strong and ready. It's like you're gearing up, you're putting on your kit. It's like, all right, put the silencer on, get the nods on. It's like, all right, now we can go fuck them off. We can go look at some memes. Go check out some chicks with
Exactly.
big asses. All right, nope, stay clear from the psyop. No, 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 no. I don't stand with Ukraine. Nope, I don't stand with Israel. Back off. Like I don't do any of this shit. No, no, no.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
you can do it. So you can.
And the key to all of it is meditation.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that's the key
I
to
don't
everything in life. Is
Yeah, I don't push meditation because a lot of people think it's ethereal. And the other piece of it too is
there's no
you
point in
have to,
pushing it.
yeah,
You have to find
it's
it on your
something
own.
yes,
You
Yes,
can't.
thank you.
Yeah,
And
you can't.
meditation, even 10 minutes of meditation, people are like, well, I can't calm my brain. I can't clear my thoughts. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to sit and calm and ground, right?
Mm.
Whether you're thinking, not thinking, doesn't matter. The point is you're taking time and space away from everything else to
And
just
giving
ground,
it energy.
right?
It is.
Yeah. And you're right. It is a suit of armor once you go out there, but it's limited, right? You
Sure.
can't, you have to keep
That's why
refreshing
you gotta
every
do it
single
every
day,
day. Hopefully, and
every day. Yeah.
better, do it a couple times a day if
And
you
I'll go a
can.
step further and say that, you know, it's diet, it's health, and
Mm-hmm.
it's grounding, right? Because diet's the other piece too. People eat a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I'll give you my own personal struggle with this, right? So when I came off active duty, I'd been in sub basements, I'd been around depleted uranium, all kinds of toxic shit my whole career. And I came back. Um, I spent 2 years at the Pentagon, came home, and I'd go to the gym and I'd just be wiped out. I could not figure it out. I'd go to the gym and I'd just be smoked. So I went to see my doctor. I'm like, Doc, why am I smoked after I go? He goes, it's just your testosterone. So I tested my testosterone. He goes, yeah, you should be up here like 250, 300. You're at like 9. And that's bad. So he goes, put me on the juice, blah, blah, blah. So I did the juice for like 2, 3 years, and it just jacked up my system. I was up, down. I had all kinds of rage, all kinds of shit that was going on. So I stopped at cold turkey and I started changing my diet.
Mm.
And I changed my diet. I cut out sugar. I cut out
Mm.
carbohydrates. I just started eating fresh food and protein, and stayed away from sugar, stayed away from high salt food. And slowly but surely, my body started to adapt, and I started to feel better. And now, I've been working on it for the last, I don't know, 2 years, and I think I'm down 20, 22 pounds,
Hell
23
yeah.
pounds, and I feel 100% better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on my sleep patterns, and I still have joint pain and a bunch of other shit. But the other thing I did was I cut out drinking tap water and started drinking filtered water
Mm.
that doesn't have the chlorine in it. And because the chlorine fucks you up. I mean, people think, oh, it's great, but go dive into the pool and see how you feel when you come out. You feel just nasty. And I can't help but think that a good portion of all of their programs depends on your bad diet, because your
Yeah.
bad diet influences your body, your mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
If you f-
I would add that to your list of items to do.
Absolutely. I've always taken the lazy way around dieting and just work out and build more muscle so that I burn more calories throughout the day. It's the lazy. It's the hardworking way of being lazy. It's very interesting. But like, no, I mean, reading every day too. Part of my daily to do list is hour of an audiobook every day, and to me that also means that if you speed it up to 2x, you only need to do 30 minutes. So I give myself a very doable thing every day. Just read, even if I'm not getting that author on. Just
Yeah.
read. Keep your brain, you know, plastic. Keep it moving. Keep it molding. Keep it learning. And yeah, I mean, social contacts. Don't isolate. Really, I mean, you can tell by my fluorescent white skin, I don't like the outdoors. But at the very least, open the blinds. Let light in. And it's all these little things that you look at and you're like, this is some hippie shit. But man, it is more valuable than anything. If I don't get it, like off days are different. Off days, I'm intentionally lazy. No podcasts, no audiobooks. I'm not answering emails. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm recharging. But
You
I'm
have to do that.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
have
do
to.
that.
You'll burn
Yeah.
out. But like
Yeah.
for days like today, man, it's wake up, make your bed, open all the blinds. It's put away all the dishes, throw all the laundry in the thing, go hit the gym, go do it. It's painful. Move, like keep going, keep going. Come back, shower, clean. I never have done a podcast in the presence of anyone else. I don't physically do it. I don't want to meet any of you. I don't care. Stay away from me. I'll shoot you. But still, I put on a polo. I put on I don't even know if this is the right time, but it's a nice watch. And like, I put on a little cologne. I brush my teeth. I still just treat it every day like I'm going for a job interview, and just the little tiny things like that, man. It really does. You throw in meditation, you throw in prayer, you throw in gratefulness. You go in and that's one of my it's literally in my daily to-do list, like being grateful. Behind my computer, I have a picture of myself, my older brother. My older brother committed suicide in 2014. the huge source of gratitude is like, hey, that was 10 years ago. That was a long 10 years. Wow, I'm past that. I'm through that. Or hey, I'm not in therapy right now. Or hey, I cut out alcohol in early January. It's like, hey, that's something I thought I would never be able to do. I thought I needed alcohol to relax. And it's like that's pretty cool. And it's
It
little tiny.
disrupts my sleep patterns.
Oh,
I
it's
figured
awful
that
for you. You can do
this,
it.
yeah,
You do it in
disrupts my
college.
sleep pattern.
Do it in college, but in college you're not a real human. You get 2 hours of sleep, go to the gym. You're not a function. You're That's something else. I don't know what college is. College is terrifying, but all these little things, and then also find just I wouldn't say purpose, but find some sort of courage. If you go online and just start purposely being as vulgar as you can, you're gonna get pushback, and probably rightfully so. If you just go on and you just dyke fuck retard fag, like, yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I like South Park too. That is how I talk. But yeah, you're gonna get some pushback, and it's not gonna be because you're some noble pursuer of truth. Chances are you probably just being a dick. But you know speak your mind. It's okay to say, hey, I don't think this is right, or I don't think that's right. Find something that gives you a little power back. What they want you to do is they want you to feel helpless. They want you, like you said, to feel agitated. They also want you to feel helpless. Why? Because if you feel helpless and you have no plans to get stronger, I would imagine, I don't have any military experience. I would imagine that's how you kill any sort of resistance or guerrilla movement in the crib. Is at the very least just make people feel like they're alone before they do anything. So there's all these little things you can do, and they're not secrets. None of this is we're not telling you this from a skiff. Listen, I don't want to tell you guys, but you got to meditate, take a
Yeah,
shower, and do some push-ups. And it's all basic shit. It's in every
yeah,
like holy book. It's in every why early to bed, early to rise makes man healthy, wealthy, and what. It's all there. It's all
yeah.
there. And then if you do that, you can go also enjoy like the perks of being in 2024. You can go get on Snapchat, you can go get on Instagram, and you can
Yeah.
surf through it, but also recognize hey, it's time to kill it. So I don't know what that what that was all about, but that's my motivational 2 cents, I guess.
It's the moderation, right? That's why I say disconnect from it, because you can't disconnect from it 100% because we're so wired right now with every part of our life. We're getting more wired, right? If they have their way, and this is where the fight's going to be, then we'll have a digital control system. China is trying to push this digital control system across the entire planet.
Hmm.
If you just have a strong leader with the the best communism, you'll be able to live a happy, productive life. And we should all sign up for that. Hey, go fuck yourselves. You know, but that's where they want to go. And this drives the guys on the round table crazy because I always say the problem with that is they don't have a vision for what they want on the other side other than more slavery, more death, more slavery, right? That's not a vision. That's not an end state. That's a condition. And one of the things that our founding fathers actually had in mind is they had a vision for what they wanted the future to look like
Sure.
and what they wanted the country to look like, which is why we were able to achieve so much in such a short period of time, right? And people have forgotten that. You were talking about you need a higher purpose. You absolutely need a higher purpose. And it's been bred out of us. Selfless service has been bred out of our country, right? We've been told, oh, well, we're the beat cop for the world. No, we're not. If you go back to the 40s and 50s, especially after World War II, what were they saying? There's a higher purpose. You have to be a productive member of society. You have to have a purpose in life. You have to have a career. You have to contribute, right? Those are the very simple concepts that they were pushing. Now it's all about what? You can have more. It's all about you. It's all about what you want. You don't have to worry about following the rules. You just have to go get what you want.
Hmm.
That's the messages they've been saying. And that's why our society is starting to fray and fall apart because this hedonistic attitude, it catches up to you and it boomerangs, right? When you step away from that and you get away from all that programming, even for 20 minutes, it breaks that cycle and breaks up that narrative and gets you away from it long enough for you to decompress away from it. People don't realize how strong that messaging is. I mean, here's the litany test. Go out to Netflix, go out to Amazon, and look at how many dark, Luciferian titles are laced across all of that. And now it's pedophilia and lolitas and child porn that is making its way, and then cannibalism is making its way into all of these mainstream shows, which before you would have been like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And there would have been a massive backlash. But now mainstream. Like this is my favorite, is they did a show called Lucifer. And the premise of the show is that Lucifer is really a good guy and God is a bumbling idiot. And Lucifer has to step in and protect God. I mean, you want to talk about the ultimate propaganda? That is ideology 101. And look at how wildly popular that show was. Look at how many wildly popular shows. Like if you watch the show Outer Range,
I don't watch
well,
any TV or
that's
Netflix or
oh, dude.
anything.
So the curse of being an information warfare guy is you look at all these shows and you watch it and you're like, okay, that's a narrative, that's narrative, that's narrative, that's ideology, that's narrative, every show, right? The worst was The Rookie with Jason Fillion. And I was a Firefly fan, right? I love sci-fi. But that show is so laced with this woke, trans, female reproductive right ideology. It was just by
Well,
episode 2 of the current season, I'm like, this is retarded.
it's
It's so full of anti-white, anti-establishment tropes. You're like, come on, you guys need better bullshit. And I like my bullshit freshly packaged and well
sure,
delivered.
sure.
This is not well delivered, right? It's
You can.
garbage.
You also like the slow. I mean, it starts, but it's like it starts with like, all right, what really happened around the JFK assassination, and then it moves forward, and there's always something that's just something. I think Alan Watts said he's like the things about taboo is you'll never eradicate the taboo. As soon as you become okay with one taboo, you'll find another one just on the corner, and then once you deal with that one, you'll find one a little farther. There is something that is so like we're in the end game where it's just like, all right, so they're openly talking about like pedophilia and like praising the Dark Lord. You're like, there's not a whole, a whole lot of
Yeah,
runway left, man. There's
yeah.
not a, but it's quite easy. You just go the opposite way. Just be like, no, just like you can exercise and do all this stuff and become better. It's just start, I don't know, start praying again. Whatever
Yeah.
you want, just start being better. What's the antithesis of what they want? They really seem to not like the idea
Non-compliance.
of nuclear family. They don't like the idea of a higher authority that isn't the state or some committee. They don't like the idea of really it seems like the carbon cycle itself. They don't like the idea of go forth and multiply, be prosperous, be plentiful. You start to just you don't even again, you don't need to understand every special access program psyop if you go, yeah, just like I said, hit the gym, stay hydrated, meditate. Like that alone can help fight against $1 trillion psyop industry. Same thing with the Bible, man. The same thing with any whatever. Pick not choose your higher power. Pray.
Yeah.
Do it. What are the basic tenets? You even have to be. I'm biased. I grew up Christian, but you don't even have to be. Just the what are the basic tenets of really like every holy? Do unto others as you'd like to have done unto you. Don't covet. Don't steal. It's all there, man. It's none of this stuff's classified. It is like the basic.
Yeah.
It's you find this stuff written on clay tablets from 9,000 years ago. It's all pretty much the same. Respect your elders. You
Yeah.
know, you are your brother's keeper. If your friend's down on his luck, help him out, and vice versa. Pay your debts. Like it's all pretty much right there. The real complexity are the demons trying to pull the wool over your eyes. So don't be intimidated by, well, I can't go up against it. Yeah, you can. It's really quite simple. You really can acknowledge a higher power, do something bigger, do something greater than you. Try to improve your community. Go bring ramen noodle to your home. You don't have to cure cancer. Go bring ramen noodle and clean socks to your homeless shelter. Do it once.
Yeah.
You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Like you said, you
Yeah.
don't gotta go to the top of the Himalayas and take acid. Although if you can do it, you can just meditate for 20 minutes, man. It's psychedelics are great. You you also don't need them. You can
No. And that's the big lie. The big lie that social media wants to suck everybody into is that you need to have all these really, really high speed things and you need to have all this money to be rich. That's not true, right? it's one of the times in my life where I actually felt the best was running around and doing information operations in Iraq, right? I'm going from all these major command centers to help other groups set up
Purpose,
their information operations
responsibility.
and message, and try and educate the Iraqis on what a civic government and a local government looks like, and what civic assets look like. It's education, right? It's not us saying, "Hey, we're liberators," which was bullshit from the start, right? It was really, "Hey, if you want to set up a government, you want us to leave, these are the things that are important, and this is what you need to do." If you start with a basis of truth, people buy into it,
Mm,
right? And they start to see what you're trying to do. And you know, just that statement alone, when I talk to all these different headquarters and all these different information operation teams, it's like, just start with the truth.
yeah,
If you want us to leave, this is what you need to do, right? You need to have a higher purpose. You need to come together as a community. The sheikhs all need to agree that if this is, if you want running water, then you have to have a public utility to manage this. It can't be run by the sheikhs because they're all have their own
yeah,
self-interest, right? It's stuff like that. But it's the higher sense of purpose and ideology that people lose track of. And you don't have to prescribe to an ideology. You just have to believe in something bigger than
yes,
yourself that's positive for other people, not negative,
yes.
right? And not get sucked into this, "I can have all this shit."
I can have
You know,
all of the good stuff.
yeah,
No.
I didn't have any of that shit. I was running around with what I had in my backpack and and a firearm, and that was literally the easiest part of my life. Was I didn't worry about all the other peripherals. I was worried about, this is what I'm trying to do to get us out of here.
Mm,
I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of, I need to convince the Iraqis. We need to get these projects underway so we can leave and
mm,
we can stop paying attention to this stuff and let the Iraqis do it.
mm.
So there's all this. The system is flooded with garbage, and so people are so disoriented that they're buying into all these other narratives that are not real. And that's why, if you step away from social media, you ground yourself, then you look at it from a different lens. And that different lens, sometimes even after 20 minutes, it's like an argument between a married couple, right? If you get into an impasse, you guys walk away from each other for 20 minutes. It's amazing what happens when you come
Take
back
a breath
together.
and come back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
dude.
that disrupt that behavior, and guess what? You come back, you don't act that way anymore, or at least you're less likely to act that way right away.
It,
So it's
it's
disrupting behavior.
it's kind of like, and we're coming up on an hour, so we'll wrap it up. But it's kind of like I have like a bedside fan, and sometimes it's like, I don't know. It's like I moved. It's like off center or something. You can hear it. It starts to. There's almost like a harmony or a resonance, and you can tell it starts like shaking the table. And then if it's touching the bed, I can. And you go, what the fuck? So instead, you just move the fan a little, and it all stops. It's this building up thing that it takes a while to get. It's like, what kind of like whipping a blanket or something. It gets going, just break it. And I find that every day, man. I mean, I've been meditating every day since 2008. Yeah, I mean, I can feel it in the motor. Just it's going building up and all this stuff, and you just go, hold on, numb up, just stop it all, just sit
Yeah,
down, and things start to simmer, and you're like, wait, what's really the matter right now?
yeah,
Nothing.
and
Nothing's.
people don't do that.
Hey,
They
you
do
got some
not
stuff to
disrupt.
do. You got some work to do. All right, make a to do list, knock it out. What's really going on? Nothing. Slow it down. You got this. Just move forward. And listen, I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious with every passing day, week, month, and year. It's like, hey, man, you don't need to believe in a higher power. They do, and they believe in a demonic power. It is.
Yeah,
You don't have to believe. You can be. You can be. I don't give a shit. You cannot deny that they are into some occult, black magic, desecration of innocent shit. You don't have
yeah,
to. You don't have to believe it. They do.
yeah.
So
And it's existential for them too, because when they lose this fight, and they will lose this fight,
they
because their
always will.
arrogance is going to be their undoing,
They,
right?
oh, they will. They will.
Yeah. But the point is that when they're on the other side of this, it's it's going to look different than it does now. But the thing is, you have to prepare yourself and be.
Sure.
So in November of 22, after the election that down here, that clearly stolen, and I said after that, okay, the Second American Revolution started on November 8th, 2022.
Hmm.
You can go back and say, I'm going to play, I'm going to vote, I'm going to do all these things. But this is the second election. They've clearly stolen. They're trying to pass laws. They're trying to use lawfare to go after people for questioning it. That tells you right there, there's something flawed in
That's
the
the
entire
second plane
system.
hitting. You
Yeah.
go, all
So
right.
you can stick around for the third strike, or you can start to mass resist. And the way you do that, mass non-compliance, like the pistol race ban. The ATF says, well, pistol races are banned, and if you don't register your gun, then we're going to arrest you. Hey, go fuck yourselves. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And 40 million Americans said, hey, go fuck yourselves. If everybody does that, and you start to adopt healthy things, a lot of good things are going to happen for this country. And you don't have to fire a shot to bring the whole system to its knees,
No.
because this system will crumble if people don't comply. They're relying on your compliance and your fear to walk you into the gas chambers they want to walk you into. If you
Hmm.
just refuse and live your own life and live your life according to some ethos, guess what? You just take away all their power, and they have nothing, because a government with no power is not a government.
It kind of
Pretty
makes me
simple.
think of the Mike O'Hearn memes. You ever seen that? Like O'Hearn's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. I guess he's like a legend in the bodybuilding community. I didn't learn about him until last year. He's this dude. He looks like a Hercules. He's like tan, like six, like perfect flowing hair, and they're all these just memes of him. But the memes are always so great. You know, it's like it's he's just like six pack abs, and it's like him buttoning up a shirt, and it's like police officer, you're under arrest, and you go, no, thank you, pay it forward. It just that's kind of more and more how I go about it.
Yeah.
It's like you're a Nazi, you're not taking the vaccine. I'll just be like, hey, no, thank you. People like that's not even accurate. You literally just disengage. Be like, you have to support this country, and I'll be like, hey, pay it forward. People are like, what the
Yeah.
fuck does that even mean? Just you're like, no, 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 it's cool. I know, I'm with God. Just like talking about it, pistol brace, and you just be like, not for me. I don't. Hey, for all those that celebrate, I don't. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally just disengage. Like, yeah, yeah, that's an assault weapon. And I'll be like, no, but hey, you can have it. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You know, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Like, what are you talking about? It's June.
Yeah.
Just
That's
disengage. Yeah, just
yeah.
literally just unplug it.
That's what I've been
Delete the
saying.
app.
Yeah.
Like metaphorically and literally just delete the app.
Uh-huh.
You have to do this. You have to be part of this system. Trans rights are humans' rights. And I'll be like, no, thank you. I already ate today. What are you talking about? You know?
Fresh
Yeah.
out of crazy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a paper or plastic, just be like, yes, thank you. Move on. Literally just disengage. The same way, imagine you seeing like a deer in the woods and you being like, man, what do you know, do you side with Ukraine? It would just look at you. Like be the deer. Just be like, no, I'm gonna keep walking. Just peace. Um But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, let's wrap this one up because my bladder's about to explode. So that too. But we're
No
also
worries,
at an
bro.
hour and my brain starts to shut down. But yeah, guys, please go in the description. Please go follow him on Twitter. Please go follow his Rumble channel and all that good shit. And yeah, dude, I'd love to do it again sometime.
Absolutely, bro.
Fuck yeah,
Absolutely. We
dude.
should do one with Luongo, because
I'd
that
love
one
to.
will,
I'd
you know,
love
if you
to.
get Craner and Luongo, and the three of us on there, that'll melt brains.
Yeah, Luongo's a psychopath. I love him.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
word he uses I like is vandal.
yeah,
Guy's a
yeah,
vandal.
yeah. I've had him. I've had Craner. Yeah, I realized. Remember, I was telling you before the show. Sometimes people will be like, "I can't believe you said this with that guest," and I'll be like, "If I had that guest on." Is it earlier when you were like Naomi Wolf? I was like, where have I heard that name before? And I was like, I fucking interviewed her. I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah, fucking I need to get it together. Um,
You do
but
this
yeah,
enough, that
yeah,
happens.
it just
That's how it
fucking.
goes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I've literally seen clips on Twitter. I'm not even kidding. I've seen clips on Twitter. I'm like, oh hell yeah, Dr. McCall, and I'll be like, wait, that's my show. I'll literally be like, oh wow, damn. Um, but yeah, dude, let's wrap it up. I got
All
very
right, brother.
unceremoniously. I just have to go pay, so we're just gonna wrap it up. All
No
right.
worries, man. Good talking to you, brother.
Absolutely. Good meeting you. Hey guys, please go to the description. Please go follow his Twitter, follow his Rumble. I'll text you this, or I already did. So I guess I won't text you. Thank you for your time, guys.
Recording
God
stopped.
bless. Much love, everybody. Peace.